Hello and welcome to Beacon Software's Training with Matt. Today we'll look at the October update to Dispatch Anywhere. The major features in this update is the ability to add multiple trucks and drivers to a single call. The minor features include adding a refresh button to dispatch and allowing users to select driver timestamps for labor calculations. Please see the full release notes below, which include bug fixes also. We have made adding multiple trucks and drivers to a call very simple for users. We are looking at an existing call that we need to assign to multiple drivers. To assign the first driver, we can either use the drag and drop option, or we can use the assign function across the top. If we use the assign function across the top, it takes us into the recommended dispatch mode. This will provide recommended drivers based on your search criteria. The first driver assigned to a call will become our primary driver. This driver will be in control of all the timestamps with the job. If we want to add an additional driver, we highlight the call again and either drag the next driver to the call or use the Assign Additional Resource button across the top. If you use the Assign Additional Resources button, it goes into a recommended driver function, just like before. If you manually drag the driver to the call, you have the option to set the next person as the primary driver if you needed to switch it. The original driver then becomes the secondary at this point. All secondary drivers will have the option to start and stop their total time on the call. This time then can be used for labor calculations later on. Once additional drivers are assigned to a call, we will have an indicator in each view. On the details view, we can see the +1 if we hover over it, and it tells us about the additional drivers. In the large and classic grid, there are columns that list the additional drivers too. By default, these columns might be to the far right. You could modify your grid order and size by simply dragging them into position. If you need to unassign an additional resource, highlight the call and press the Unassign Job button. A prompt will appear and ask you which driver or drivers you want to unassign from a call. If you unassign an existing primary driver from the call, it will automatically assign the first driver as your new primary. Once a call is finished, we may need to use the driver's timestamps to calculate any hourly rates. To use the driver's timestamp to calculate labor, start by adding the service and pressing the calculator icon. This will bring up the labor calculator. We can manually enter the times in the boxes or use the stopwatch icon to select the driver's timestamps. If we need to use an additional resources timestamp, we first press the pencil icon on the commission tab. We choose the driver that was associated with this labor service. While you're in this section, you can manually set commission for this driver also. Otherwise, it will use their normal commission. Once a driver is set, we can choose the calculator icon, and now we have the option to use the selected driver's start and stop time. The last feature that was added in this release was a manual refresh button. There are times when an internet connection might have trouble and you won't receive push notifications. Previously, you needed to log out of the system and back in to see the updated information. If you are having trouble, we have added a manual refresh button. If you choose the More drop-down across the top, you can see the Refresh Dispatch Data option. This will manually refresh the screen and update any information. If you need to use this feature all the time, please contact our support team, as there may be other issues we need to troubleshoot. In this training, we looked at the ability to add additional drivers to a single call. We also looked at the new labor calculators, the additional information on the grid layouts, and finally the manual refresh button for dispatch. We hope you found this video useful. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Also be sure to like this video and subscribe for future video updates and information on our live training seminars. As always, thanks for watching.